Hare Krishna. This evening we will continue with the seminar of yesterday. But for those who are new, I will have a little recap. But we'll so we'll speak on the false ego and how to overcome the false ego, come to our real ego. Namo Vishnu Prakasna Bhaktaya Bhakalim Shrimate Bhakti Chariswanti Namni Snita Seshakanat Bhaktinam Sarasaptam Bhakti Namni Bhakti Chariswanti Namo Vishnu Prakasna Bhaktaya Bhakalim Shrimate Bhakti Chariswanti Namni Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vacharani Nirvishesha Srinyavadi Paskachani Visatani. So yesterday we spoke mostly on the strength of Bhagavad Gita, that in 18th chapter Krishna says that every action consists of 5 factors. We discussed these 5 factors, and we are one of the 5 factors. The soul is the doer, karta, but the soul is only doing by desiring, and rest is done by the super soul. The super soul executes our desire, if it so desires, and then the body acts as such. But it's difficult to understand for the conditioned soul. We are all conditioned souls. That is very difficult to understand. But we gave some hints last time. How Krishna says that yes, the Vasya Samvedisana Vishwamatas Midhyam Avansam. I'm seated in everyone's heart. For me comes remembrance, knowledge. And forgetfulness. That whatever we know comes from Krishna. That we desire to know. We may desire to remember, but can you always remember what you desire? Depends on Krishna. That Krishna makes our heart beating, arranges our digestion, arranges the change of the cells, gives you your karma. At a certain moment you get a disease and nothing you can do about it. Very little. But, so that's all to the body. Karma comes. So we are the doer. If Krishna allows, it will happen according to what we deserve. And Krishna says that's what he says in 1814. 5 factors. There is the body, there are the senses, and there are the endeavors in the mind. That's the gross and the subtle body, and that is under control of the super soul, the 5th factor. But the 2nd factor is the soul. The soul desires. The soul is the soul of consciousness in the body. That in 2:17, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, that what pervades the entire body cannot be destroyed. And what pervades the entire body that cannot be destroyed? In 13:34, Krishna says, what pervades the entire body is consciousness. And that consciousness comes from the soul. So that should be understood that we are the consciousness in the soul, and the soul is a symptom of consciousness, is a symptom of the soul. If there's consciousness in a body, you know that the soul is there. That a living body minus consciousness is a dead body. The soul is gone. That's simple. But that simple thing, most people cannot understand that. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. Astarya Vat verse in the second chapter. That it's amazing, Krishna says, how to Arjuna. It's amazing that the soul can be in the body of an ant and the body of an elephant. And some people find the soul amazing. And the people who understand the soul are amazing because there are only a few. But it's also amazing that some cannot understand the soul at all. Some don't make it. They continue to identify with the body. So Krishna says there are these 5 factors, but then in 1816, Krishna says, one who does not consider these 5 factors and thinks that he alone is doing things, he's not very intelligent. He's in ignorance, Krishna says. He's a Buddha. Krishna says that also, and 327 of Bhagavad Gita, there Krishna says, Prakriti Kyamanani Guna Karamana Sarvasa Ahankaram Vimudhatma Kartam Iti Manyate. One who thinks that he's doing everything in this world, that is a Vimuddha, because everything in this material world is done by material nature. And that material nature is Maya, Dakshina Prakriti, Krishna says. I as a super soul control material nature. It's not under our control. So our control is very limited. We can desire. And that's very important. If we don't understand that, we act out of false ego. We take a false ego means we take a position, but we are not. A position that we are not. We think ourselves the controller of material nature. But our control is very limited. And so, Vimuddhatma. Practically everyone in this world thinks himself the doer. That it's quite a strong word, Vimuddha. That a devotee was in the 70s was distributing books in an airport here in America. And he came to an Indian person and he wanted to give him a Bhagavad Gita. And the person said, I have no interest. Well, the devotee said, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if you have no interest in the soul, you are a Vimuddha. And the man became very disturbed. He said, he went to a police officer and said, he's calling me a Vimuddha. And the police officer said, Vimuddha. No, I don't. But it's a very strong word. Muddha means as, and Vimuddha means super as. But yes, but Krishna makes it very clear in Bhagavad Gita That is a theme that Paul's ego speaks about through the entire Bible, Gita, practically. In 5:14, he says, Nakakritva nakarma nilukasya chichachi prabhu, nakarma phalasam yugam svabhavas tu pavaktate. The embodied soul master of the city of the body. So we are in the body and we are the master. That, well, kind of master. We have 5 factors we have heard. That, so the master of the body does not create activities. It does not create activities of the body. Is that difficult to understand? I desire to move my hand, and my hand moves. So the activity that I do is desire, and Krishna, the super soul, moves my hand. That's what Krishna is saying. Do we get that?
Yes.
Yeah. Nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. The fruits of your action, yeah. We want many times good fruits for action, but it's not always good. So so we are not creating it. Krishna determining what you will get. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature, which are controlled by the super soul, not by us. Material nature means body, senses, mind, subtle body. But then Krishna says in the next verse, Nada te kachit papam nacheva sukritam vibu, agyanina vitam gyanam tenam yanti yantava. No, does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. So Krishna says, I'm also not a doer. Why does he say that? Krishna says, Krishna created the laws of nature, and they are working under his direction. That's true, but they are working according to our actions, and Krishna has nothing to do with it. Our actions is desire. Without desire, we can push 3 buttons. Did I explain that last time? Of 3 buttons? No. That you can, without desire, you can push 3 buttons. You can push the red button, the wrong one. The red button is, I want to enjoy this world, and I want to enjoy this world by doing things against the scripture. I want to drink wine. I want to have an extensive sex life. I want to eat meat. That's against the scriptures. It's called sinful. And what's the reaction of sinful activities? What's the fruit? It's suffering. Suffering. Do we get that? We put the red button, the wrong one, because we desire to do sinful activities. And then it's done by material nature, but we desire it. Krishna knows it. And then you get reactions, suffering later, in next life. And Krishna says, I did not push the red button, you did. I'm not responsible for your sinful activities. You push the button. But you can also push the green button. That is, these are activities according to the scriptures, but also to enjoy. That's the green. That I want to enjoy according to the scripture. And 80% of the scriptures are about that. Lauriaso Dave, 80%. That was his mistake. He put emphasis on that, and his guru, Narada Muni, was not happy. Because, anyway, Vyasadeva himself became depressed about it. But this is good activities, like giving charity to people, yeah, opening hospitals, that giving donations for good work. That is good. And that gives you, in next life, happiness for the body, not for the soul. So that is the karma button. The red button was the vikarma, sinful activities. You have the karma button, good activities. But the Bhagavad Gita is about not pushing the green button, not pushing the red button, but pushing the blue button. Krishna is blue. And blue means activities in Krishna consciousness. Activities in Krishna consciousness means you are going to do what Krishna in the heart wants you to do. That you follow the dictations of Krishna in the heart. But if you take these dictations of Krishna in the heart, what he wants you to do is also in Bhagavad Gita. Is also the spiritual master says the same thing. What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Karmana, yeah, it's 9:3. Chaknachta karmano, Chaknachta karmano yatra. What's the Chaknachta karmano yatra? Karma bandhana, but there's a water man missing. Chaknachta karmano yatra. 9:3:9. Chaknachta karmano yatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Lokoyam yatra. One must do sacrifice for me, Krishna says. He explains that more deeply in the 9th chapter. Yat karosi yat tasnasi yat yosi yosi yat tapasyas kaunteyam tat krosma matatmanam. Whatever you do, whatever charity you do, whatever work you do, whatever you give away, whatever sacrifice, austerity you do it as an offering to me. And Patram Pushpam Palamtriam Yome Bhaktyam Paripayashati. So, and offer me a flower and water and a leaf with love. So Krishna wants us to do everything for him. So he wants us to act as a spirit soul. What's the difference between one who pushes the Krishna conscious button, the blue, akarmani, and what's the difference with those who push the green or the red button? Those who push the green and the red button, good and bad activities, they get reactions, good and bad, for the body. They act for the welfare of the body, not for the soul. And they mistake birth again to get their reactions, good or bad. You like to take birth again? You know, it is in the womb of the mother. then the birth, it's suffering for the mother and the child. It's horrible. He forgot that, but that's what you're doing. You push the red off, the red or the green button. Krishna says, no, don't do it. Act as a spirit soul. Because those who put the red and the green button, they think I'm the body. And they act for the welfare of the body. They want to enjoy the body in the next life, this life and the next life. And they don't want distress. Krishna says that's not very intelligent. They are not considering these 5 factors because they think themselves the doer. They think they control their lives. And what is the mistake they make? They have forgotten Krishna, who controls everything. They think they are the body. And they think this is mine, it belongs to me. And that's already a cause of suffering. They create a false I and my, and mine. Those who push this green and red button. But Krishna says, no, you must act as a spirit soul. And he starts to explain, so as explains Aknarta, you have to act as a spirit soul. You have to do everything as a sacrifice for me, Krishna says. He says, yeah, in 3:13 he says also, 3:13, not you have to do everything as a sacrifice for me, but also that the votes of the Lord, they are free from all sins, because they offer their food for sacrifice. And those who prepare food for personal enjoyment and are not offering their food, they are pushing the red or the green button. And that's a problem. They get reactions. Must take birth again, and so on. So Krishna says, offer your food. Because he says, offer your food, because he says, he says, yes, because he says, if you are not offering your food, you are eating pure sin. Why is it sinful? Because you think it's mine. Everything belongs to Krishna. It's just an idea in the mind that something belongs to us. Did it belong to you before birth? Did it belong to you after birth? After death? No, you come empty-handed, you go empty-handed. And in between we think this is mine for some time. But that is false ego. Nothing is ours. So Krishna then starts to explain how to act as a spirit soul in 3:30. Mai sarvani karmani, to surrender all your works unto me. Do your work for me. And he explains what it means. Sanyas yakyatma shetasa, you must be detached. That sannyas means that detached, it's not yours. And sannyas yatyatma setasa, with full knowledge of the soul. You have to know I'm the soul, I'm not the body. And acting as a soul, Krishna says, nirasir nirmamo buddha. Nirasir, that I don't want to enjoy this. I want Krishna to enjoy because it belongs to him. Because it belongs to him, I want him to enjoy first. So we offer our food to Krishna first, and then we enjoy. So we do our work for Krishna. We do whatever we do. We get a salary, we use it for Krishna. So that is nirasir, nirmamo. Nirasir means I do it for Krishna, not for me, without profit, out of love, without asking something in return. And nirmamo means it belongs to Krishna. So that's where devotion begins, with knowledge. Everything belongs to Krishna and is for his enjoyment. And Krishna says it in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktaram Shakya Tapasam Sarvalokamaishpadam Sridam Sarvabhutnam Yatvanam Samsmritsati. I'm the Bhakta, I'm the enjoyer of everything, because everything belongs to me. Sarvalokamaishpadam, Krishna says. Because everything belongs to him, he can enjoy that. And yeah, Bhaktaram Shakya Tapasam. So from all our austerities, whatever we do it for Krishna. And if we act in that way, with this right understanding, we become spiritually connected with Krishna. And we come under Krishna's protection. We are protected by the spiritual energy of Krishna. And what is this protection? That our consciousness becomes purified from that false idea that I'm the doer, that things belong to me and things are for my enjoyment. Life is meant for enjoyment, but not enjoyment of the body. It's meant for a higher enjoyment, the enjoyment of the soul. This is Rama Pucham Tatishta. Rama Pucham Tatishta. Shall Prabhupada explain the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita? There are 5 levels of consciousness. The lowest is animal consciousness, food consciousness, Annamaya, food. That I was at a place. I'm staying at a place of Manglananda Prabhu. This morning, 5 o'clock, 5:30, the sun was just up, and I saw a beautiful deer out of the window, and it told me there were someone has put some apples there, so they are interested in food. Annamaya. And on that level of consciousness, it's so covered, our spiritual consciousness. You cannot understand that you are not a body. The deer cannot understand. That's not. But even young children, babies, they are also food. In the beginning, they are also covered. But the human life is special. We can expand our consciousness. And gradually when we grow, there's not only Annamaya, it's Pranamaya. Pranamaya means conscious that I'm not alone. There are also other living entities. Other living entities who want also food. I have to protect myself. Animals have that also. I'm very much afraid. Whatever happens. And then a higher consciousness is Jnana-moya or Mana-moya. And that's the human being mostly. That's where human life starts. I'm thinking, feeling, willing. I like art and poetry and science. Thinking, feeling, willing comes there. But that's also a material consciousness, that it's a higher consciousness, and most people, humans, are in that consciousness. Although many are attracted to anamoya, eating a lot. they, they prepare them for next life to become an animal again. If you are only bound to eat and sex life, yeah, better an animal. Forget the human form of life. It's more easy. You have no heartbreaks and so on. Sex whenever you want. But then, real human life, civilized human life, starts with Vijnana Moya. That's the next stage. And that is hearing from the scriptures and trying to understand, who am I? Who am I? Why am I suffering? Why am I in this material world? Why am I here? What's the purpose of this creation? That most people are not asking this question. And the Vedas explain that we are not a body, we are Brahman. And then by study of the scriptures, one comes to goodness and understands I'm not a body. That when one understands, then yes, Mamai Bamsochi Veda Krichiva Buddha Sanatana. Krishna says we are part and parcels of him. We don't take birth, we don't die, we never came into being, we will never cease to exist. That the soul is an eternal part. And Krishna explains how to get out of this false ego and understand our real nature, a spirit soul. That if we start to understand our position as a servant of Krishna, that we don't belong to this material nature. We are spiritual, material nature is material. And we don't feel at home in this body. Although we may be very much attached. Because the soul, but the nature of the soul, Satchitananda, it's eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. And what is the body? It's asat. It's temporary. It's achit, ignorance. And then ananda, we don't have bliss. The happiness we have is absence of suffering. You eat a nice meal and you feel good. The pain of the hunger is gone. But that's not happiness. That's absence of pain. So Krishna says in 1858, he explains 1858. Machita sarvadurgani mat prasada tarishyati atashitvam ahankaram nasvashyasi vinamsati. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. Why is that? If we become conscious of Krishna, then we remember who Krishna is. And when we remember who Krishna is, then we understand we are not Krishna. We are a part of Krishna. And we are his servant. And then we understand our relation. And living in a relationship with Krishna constantly is called devotional service. That's what Krishna wants us to do. Man mana, think of me. Parma bhakti, become my devotee. Machai, worship me. Mam namaskare, offer me respect. Sarvam Krishna Mam Kamsam Vacha. Am Kamsa Vatavya Mokshishyama. Mokshishyasima Motsucha. Don't worry, Krishna says, Motsucha. I will take care of you. We should follow these instructions and forget all. Because that's acting as a spirit soul. And that's what Krishna wants us to do. And then if you do that, you overpass all the obstacles. You don't have to follow any other yoga poses. Just fix your mind on him. In the 6th chapter, Tanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, the yoga of meditation, Krishna explains how to meditate. So, and in that chapter, Krishna explains to Arjuna, you must fix your mind on him. And Arjuna said, I cannot do that. I'm sorry. My mind is too wild. It goes in all directions. I cannot control. It's like controlling the wind, Krishna. I cannot do it. What's the answer of Krishna? Yes, Arjuna, you can do it. With detachment and suitable practice. Suitable practice. And that suitable practice for this age is the chant of the holy names. We cannot go to the Himalayas and perform yoga there. That Prabhupada says, yes, that is for a few men who maybe can do that. But the common man, there's no question to go to the Himalayas. Because he says Arjuna could not do it. And Arjuna was 1,000 times more qualified than all of us. But if we don't do that, we don't become conscious of Krishna. If you do not work in such a consciousness, but act to false ego, if we are not conscious of Krishna, if we think ourselves only the doer, and we don't consider Krishna, that's false ego. We act as the body. And then you will not hear me. You will even not understand this knowledge as long as you are convinced you are the body. No way. You will be lost, Krishna. Happy. So we have two choices here. We become conscious of Krishna, or we act to false ego. So that is what Bhagavad Gita says. So live in the spiritual reality. This material life is not reality. It's a reality for our senses and our mind. That what we perceive to the senses, we think that is our reality. But what can we perceive to the senses? Like what can we hear? From the subsonic to the supersonic. But the supersonic we cannot hear. The subsonic also not. Only what's between. Does the supersonic not exist? Subsonic does not exist. Same with seeing. We can see in a range between ultraviolet and infrared. But beyond this, there is nothing. No? No, there are. The Bhagavatam explains there are so many things beyond our senses. We're surprised if you read the Bible. About subtle beings, we cannot see them. But it's foolishness to think I accept only what I can see and perceive. No, you must hear from someone who can see the spiritual reality. And thus the self-realized soul, representative of Krishna. This knowledge comes from Krishna. Knowledge from other sources is useless. The knowledge that comes from Krishna is aparusteya. It's beyond doubt that aparusteya means not from human origin. Everything from human origin is useless. Because we don't have, with our material brains, we cannot understand spiritual reality. What's the way to understand spiritual reality? First verse of the Bhagavatam. Chanmadhyasyatam vyatatatasya tene brahmaridaya adhikavi moyam tyatsurya. Tene brahmaridaya adhikavi. This knowledge was given by Krishna to the heart of Brahma. In the heart is the soul. To the soul it gives the knowledge. In the form of realization. Not to the brain. Not to matter. And that is also our process. Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam vajtam pitikam dadami buddhiyogam tam yinamam. Says, if you serve me with a little love, dadami, I give buddhi yoga, this realized knowledge, to the heart. How do we know to the heart? He says that in the next verse, Tesham evanakapatam amakam chantam anasichamat navavastu chantam. I am seated in the heart with the torch of knowledge. I burn away all ignorance. So that's directly from the spiritual platform to the heart. And it is realized knowledge. And that realized knowledge purifies the heart. Realization is purification of lust, anger, greed, and so on that covers our spiritual consciousness. Till it's removed. And the more it is removed, the more happy we become. And finally, we become to Anandamoya. From Vijnanamoya to Anandamoya, through devotion service. Anandamoya is transcendental, it's on the soul level. And that's pure bliss. The bliss of the soul. Most people have no idea what the bliss of the soul is, but I will read you about the bliss of the soul, described by what's the realization that you get of the bliss of the soul. 6, 28, 29, I think. Nice. 17. Here. In this stage of perfection called trance of samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by the practice of yoga. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind. Then you see yourself. And to release and rejoice in the self. In that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth. And upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position is never shaken, even in the midst of great difficulties. This is indeed actual freedom from miseries arising from material contact. Great blissful states that so yes, we can live in the spiritual reality in our relationship with Krishna. Living in a relationship with Krishna means always thinking of him in the heart. And before you do something, whatever you do, you should think, will that please Krishna? Before you do something, will that please Krishna? Will that please my spiritual master? It's the same. That, how do you know that you will please Krishna? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, all the activities you should do. And in the Bhagavatam, everything is there. If the Uddhav Gita in the Bhagavatam gives so many details, it's also Krishna speaking. So many details what we should do in our lives. The practice of devotional service, the practice of always connecting with Krishna in your life, because that's the reality. Everything is connected with Krishna. But to do that, we need a spiritual master. Dat Vinapanapana by Krishna in Shiva Upadiksham Padeshanam Jnana Stat Padakshana. One should approach a spiritual master and serve him and inquire from him how to practice spiritual life and be submissive. And if you do that, what will be the result? Krishna says, Yathyatmana Punarman Devanyasya Tipanapa Takshasya Atmani Atmani. Yathyatmana Punarman Devanyasya Tipanapa Yena Bhutane Ashishani Takshasya Atmani Atmani. And then you will see that all living entities are my particles, and that they are mine, that they are always connected with. We are all parts of Krishna. Then your vision changes. That you start to say Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmanaka Transnishana Shivshva Bhagachatpanida Samadakshana. You start to see the super soul in everyone's heart. And you see how others only desire and the body, and Krishna does everything. You see only Krishna acting. But at the same time, if we are not in that consciousness, in false ego, we live in a material world. But factually, the material world is unreal in the sense that it is temporary. You sleep at night and you dream. But if you get up, and you had a dream, what do you think of the dream? You take it very serious, the dream?
While in the dream, while in the dream it is.
While in the dream it's serious. If you are attacked by tigers, then I got it once, and then you scream, and then you get it's a nightmare. And suddenly you see, oh, I'm in a room here. It's just all gone. But this life of the body is also a dream. It starts with taking birth, it ends with death, and everything between is temporary. When we wake up, we think the dream is just a dream. If one spiritually wakes up and realizes I'm a spirit soul, it sees the material life as a dream. If I show Ambarish Prabhu a picture of his previous life and said, I show him a picture of a woman with 10 sons, what will it say to you? Nothing. But it may have been reality in previous life. Are you still concerned with all your sons in previous life? What happened? You were so attached to them. And now, nothing anymore. And we went to thousands, millions of lives. And we have parents, sons, daughters, and we have fights and so many things. Are we still concerned about them? It's all soon over. Don't be attached to it. It's foolishness. We think it's so important, and the next moment you are gone. Please consider that. That is not life. We must do our duty externally, but internally, we must be with Krishna. That's the message. And if you want to know how to live like that, read the Bible, Canto 5, chapter 10, and chapter 9, Chad Bharat. He understood all these attachments in this world are dangerous. Internally, he was always with Krishna, and externally, it was Chad. No, he didn't want any relation with anyone anymore because he was fully satisfied. Because in his last life, he became a deer by accident. And Krishna gave him the memory of that and said, I don't want it. It's too much. He saw reality. But Krishna's mercy, he was trained by him. So we must become detached. But detachment is actually also an illusion. Why? Because everything belongs to Krishna. If I go to my neighbor's house and I come in the house and say, I'm going to live here, and the neighbors say, oh, moment, I will call the police. You get out of here. So we think like that. This is mine, but it's Krishna's. If you think it's mine, you are punished by the police. And that's material nature. You will get reactions for it. So never think this is mine. Think always this is Krishna. And Krishna gave me that to use in its service. It's under my care, you should think. Not it's mine. So we analyze the workings of the false ego. In the Uddhava Gita, Krishna says to Uddhava, the problem is the spirit soul follows the mind. The mind, but the material element. We are not the mind. We become attached to the mind and the feelings in the mind. So Krishna says to Uddhava, as soon as one identifies with the world, he forgets his eternal identity. He forgets his eternal identity. What's our identity? Lord Chaitanya says, Gopi Bhakti Kamana, dance. We are the servant of the servant of the servant of the lover of the gopis. Who is the lover of the gopis? Krishna. Very nice. So, if we identify with everything in this world, and then we surrender to the false ego created by the illusory energy. This body is a creation of the illusory energy, this mind also. And the mind is Maya, illusion. And the mind wants to keep you in this prison. And she does her best to push you with duality, good and bad, that enemy, friend, this person said that to you. That's not good. It's not your friend, the mind says. It's not trusting. And the mind talks mad like that. No, you should not listen to the mind. The mind is contaminated with lust, anger, greed. By identifying with this body, it's coming in. And what's the symptom of this contamination, raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion. What gives me pleasure, I want, and what gives me distress to the body, I don't want. But the eternal soul, Krishna says, exists beyond this duality. It does not need a body to exist. This is deep philosophy. I quoted a lot of verses and deep knowledge, and we are not able to process everything in one time. Therefore, I will stop here. Tomorrow evening, we will discuss 3 aspects of the false ego. 3 aspects of the false ego, and try to understand how this false ego imprisons us. And that will help us to get out of the false ego. Any questions?
Said that this 3-button analogy is really eye-opening, and visualize that. But desires are so strong, although subjectively you know that you're not supposed to press the red or green button, but because of desire and mind not being in control, we push that button. And right after that, there is a regret that comes out of it. How to dilute that regret?
That regret will repentance. That's a good thing. That Krishna consciousness means changing our desire. The soul is attached to desires. That's natural for the soul. We must be attached to something. But we have to dovetail that desire with Krishna. That's, if you desire to have a big car, you drive the car for Krishna, because you do your work for Krishna, and use your salary for Krishna. You have to connect it with Krishna. Because desires are born with the body. They are there. Because the body, you get a body according to your desires. And according to what you deserve, you get a body. And we must act within the parameters of that body. But it's a question to use the body in Krishna service. So, like, I desire to eat pizza, so they offer the pizza today to Gauni time. First Gauni time. And then I enjoy the pizza. But that should always be there, that connection with Krishna, in your desire. It must be embedded. And then that will purify your desires. Course of time, that will purify your desire. We cannot without desires. That's not wrong, because the soul desires. But now our desires are perverted, are directed to the material energy without Krishna in the center. We have to put Krishna in the center of our desire. You want to marry and have a wife? Okay, get children for Krishna. And try to turn them into devotees. The big service. Is there? So that is a basic point, I think, in relation to the time. Good. Okay. Otherwise, we can listen. Thank you very much. Sometimes Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.